Hello everyone, it's the start of a new racing season and 10 races on cards from now on, and this week at Flemington the feature is the Aurie Star Handicap. Last week, another week in the red, but I'm not going to blame myself. That Moonee Valley track was just, I don't know what to say, it was just abysmal. There was a travelator on the inside and it was impossible to tip winners. Flash Flood was the only one we got. So let's hope this week plays a little bit more fair, which it should because it's at Flemington, and we'll get straight on with the tips. We'll kick it off with two horses I like in the first race, the VRC Members Sprint at benchmark 70 level over the 1100 metres, and the first one I like is the favourite River Noir. This horse comes back first up off what was an impressive trial. It got pushed along in this trial towards the end, which I like, means the Peter Moody and Catherine Coleman camp want to have it ready for this start. Last preparation, it had 3 runs. It won impressively at Moe and a maiden. Then went to Flemington down the straight and ran second behind She Dances. She Dances then went on and was an absolute superstar of the autumn. And then sat 3 wide no cover at the Valley and beat Kalashani Lad and Ice Picnic. And as evident from last week, it's tough to sit 3 wide at the Valley and win. That's what River Noir did. Gets Luke Nolan on gate 7, perfect down the straight, will settle on speed, and I reckon it's a classy horse and can show that on Saturday. The other horse I like is number 4, the Hass, and this was its last start run at Sandown on the Lakeside track at benchmark 70 level over 1200 behind Jackovic. It was a bit of a bunch finish, so maybe the form line isn't as strong, but this was on a soft 6 track, and it's only missed the placings once in 9 runs on good tracks, and on wet tracks it's only placed twice in 7, so getting back onto a firmer surface on Saturday will help first and foremost. It missed the start on this occasion, so it had to go back, which is not what it wants. That's not its favoured role. It likes to be right there on speed, and I think down the straight it doesn't have to go back to find cover because, you know, the straight's just a straight run. It can be on speed. Prior to that, only finished half a length off Sig Positano at Sandown when it settled in its favourable on-speed role. That was on a wet track, so maybe could have won if it was on a better track. Wirumu Pin claims it 2 kilos. I like it. It'll sit on speed. Back on a firmer surface will help. And hopefully, drawn gate 11 down the straight, it can run well. Moving on to race number 2, we've got the VRC member Pamela Perry Aspirant Sprint at benchmark 70 level over the 1200 metres, and the one I like here is the Prodigal Son. Now, this horse on the weekend draws gate 19, which is absolutely ideal down the straight. Gets Damien Oliver on as well, which is a key booking. This was its last start run at Sandown, where it looked to labour home, and I think that was due to the shifty track conditions and the fact that it raced 3 wide no cover. This horse is 2 from 3 at the 1200 metres. This was its only loss at 1200. Before this, pulled up with a slow recovery, went well backed at Flemington behind Brun King and Private Jumbo. It was well backed, led up at 1400 and just faded on its run. So 1200 is its optimum distance. Its second run in Victoria for Craig Widdowson. Before this was a winner at Canberra, so it's come from a long way. Gate 19, Damien Oliver, get into a good spot. Hopefully no excuses this time, and it should be running very well. Race number 3 is the VRC member Matthew Hodder, played at 3-year-old benchmark 70 level over the 1400 metres. The first one I like here is Warlords. This horse has been well back since markets open, and I can see why. We're taking a look at its sale maiden win. This was on debut. It won by a length with Blake Shin in the saddle. Good margins back to 3rd and 4th, indicating a strong form reference. By Saxon Warrior, very good Japanese stayer, or sire I should say. Draws gate 5 to get a good run on Saturday. Up to 1400, looks very hard to beat. This horse could be anything. I think we can't put a limit on its potential yet. It won very impressively here, and it can again on Saturday. The other one I like in this race is number 4, Gonski. Now, I'll give you some inside information about the race itself. Last year, this race on this day was won by Barclay Square, who ran second in the Ingot coming from the back. The year before, it was won by Sunfall, and he last start came through the Vobis Gold Ingot and was solid from the back. This year, Gonski came from the back in the Vobis Gold Ingot and was solid. And on a day at Caulfield where you wanted to be close to the lead and the rail, very good run behind the all-impressive Molly Nickers, and I reckon Gonski can go huge again. Draws gate 7. I think you want to be a bit closer to the speed at Flemington on Saturday with the rail at 10, but it's a short field, and I think Gonski will be close enough, and seeing that stat from previous years, I think it's got to be some sort of chance. We do a big jump all the way to race 7. It's the feature, the Aurie Star Handicap at Group 3 level over the 1200 metres. And the one I like here is It's Our Time. Comes through the same race as Zathus 2 starts ago, and It's Our Time's preparation. This was in the VRC Sprint listed final at 1200 metres down the straight, where it narrowly got beaten by Nemeth. Obviously, as you can see now, It's Our Time beat Zathus. They both have similar weights on Saturday, and It's Our Time beat Zathus fair and square. Since Zathus has gone up to Sydney and back, so I don't know, may have a bit of wear in the legs, but that's just my opinion. It's Our Time is a proven Flemington straight horse. It's a proven straight horse over 1200 metres. Draws gate 9, ideal down the straight. Mickey D takes the ride. He's one of the most reliable riders you can have on. I reckon It's Our Time's a major chance and can knock off the favourite course for concern. It's that time of the week. It's last man standing, and if you want to join and take a $325 lead, you can. Just message me through Twitter, because we're not doing good at the moment. Any three of us, we're all in the red considerably. I will say this though, just to point this out this week, if Geordie or Sky High Horse Racing or anyone that joins up doesn't get me the last man standing tips by the time I put the video up, just cop a $100 penalty. I don't care if you haven't spent anything, but that means, you retain your money and some others might lose, which is a bit unfair considering you haven't had a go. So just to keep it fair, if you don't get it done in time, $100 penalty. But we're going to get straight on with how the boys are going this week, and Geordie's the first one up. He's gone to race 9 at Flemington, number 3 Barclay Square, first up off a Vic Derby campaign. $125 the win on that. Then we jump to me. I'm sticking true to my guns of not going to Victoria, and I'm going to Rose Hill. $100 all-up wins Zarastro. Sorry, that's at Eagle Farm. Zarastro, who is odds-on into Undivided, has been backed in from like 31 to favourite, and that's a good push in my opinion. Then we'll move on to Sky High Horse Racing. He's gone 30 the win on Clyde and Moore, 30 the win on Shire, and 30 the win on Flying Mascot in race 9, and then a $10 all-up win, Clyde and Moore, Shire and Benedetta in the last race. Hopefully someone can win something this week, and we'll get straight on to the last one of my selections. Race number 9 is the VRC member Dennis Foley Sprint. Not sure why it's called a sprint, because it's over the 1400 metres at benchmark 100 level. And we're going to take a look at a replay of Poland and Ulysses from last start at Caulfield. This was at benchmark 100 level over the 1400, so the exact same distance and class that they faced on Saturday. These two horses carry the same weight as each other on Saturday as they did last start, which is what we're looking at now. Ulysses ended up winning the race. I know everyone's going to say, oh, Poland went hard, it faded on its run late, but it wasn't Edison that was pushing Poland, it was Poland that was pushing Edison. Poland usually wins when it goes hard, and considering it's at Flemington and we'll have to do some work to get across from the gate, I think it'll be a pretty tough task to win. Poland's $5.50. Ulysses is $23. I just cannot believe that. They're carrying the same weight. Ulysses beat Poland last start. Ulysses is going to get a better run. It does need to jump out of the gates to be, midfield or somewhere. But Tatum Bull retains the ride, gets in 52.5 kilos. I just can't believe how Ulysses is 23 and Poland's 5.50. I'm happy to be with Ulysses in race number 9. I think it's way over the odds. First up winner, might have a little bit of second up syndrome off that powerful run first up, but that's the only minor query. It's 2 from 6 second up, so hopefully can run well, but not win, because we got Flying Mascot part ownership in that race. So that's all the selections from Flemington for Saturday, Aurie Star Handicap Day. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.